It was known as the Versailles of the jungle. On a hill overlooking untouched forests stands the ruins of Kawele. A magnificent 15,000 square meter palace complex, once the favorite home of Mobutu Sese Seko. Those who knew it remember a luxurious, almost surreal place.
There was marble everywhere. It was so shiny, but also slippery.
Today, what remains of the palace's rooms gives us a glimpse of Mobutu's legendary opulence. In this suite, the dictator's remote-controlled bed was once positioned on a cross carved into the rock.
He worked hard. He would get up early and go to bed late at night. At 5:30, he was already up and making phone calls to know the general mood in the country.
I'm very upset because I know how his residence used to be. Seeing it like this today, it breaks my heart. It was a sumptuous palace, worthy of a great head of state and the great Zaire of the time.
Mahogany doors, marble walls, or crystal chandeliers, Mobutu spared no expense lavishing millions on the complex. It was here that he welcomed heads of states from all over the world.
Belgian King Baudouin and French Presidents Chirac and Mitterrand were here. There used to be a pool here and a fountain. When there was a party, people would gather around to eat. At night, it was a beautiful sight.
In May 1997, the Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, a rebel group led by Laurent Désiré Kabila, seized power, overthrowing the man who'd become known as a Leopard of Zaire. Kawele estate was subsequently looted and partially destroyed.
I was there when the shooting happened. Soldiers weren't shooting at close range towards people. They were shooting to scatter the crowd. After that, they would start looting the place. Then they left. But our father Marshal was already gone. It was the end of his reign. He was ill. There was a cargo at the airport. It took him to exile.
One morning, after 32 years of dictatorship, Mobutu fled the country via Badolite Airport. He would never return. Today, the airport's control tower is out of service, and soldiers occupy the Chinese pagoda that was once reserved for distinguished guests. During the 1970s, at the peak of the Leopard's reign, the 3,200-meter-long runway could accommodate a Concorde, under the stunned gaze of the town's residents. In 1967, Badolite was a tiny village of mud huts. Just a few years after taking power, Mobutu transformed the place into a modern town. With banks, a post office, and even a hydroelectric plant. An extraordinary feat in this province cut off from the world. These days, everything in Badolite recalls the days of Mobutu. Buildings frozen in time, witness to years of excessive opulence. Today, the population has taken over several of these unfinished sites, where construction simply stopped dead 21 years ago. Supposed to host the National Water Company, this building is now used as a school, where pupils study in an unusual setting. But some places have escaped the looting, like the luxury Zekele Hotel.
When the marshal was here, there were 3 bars. The pool bar on the other side. This one is the blue bar. People used to come from everywhere. They came from Kinshasa. They came to drink and eat. There was joy. We are currently at the Red Bar. It was a renowned bar at the time of the poor marshal. Even he came here. But because he was the president, he couldn't stay very long. He would have fun for a few minutes and then go home.
But nights of partying are a distant memory. There's no longer electricity to keep the beer cold, nor any clients to drink it. In 1988, Mobutu built a fizzy drink bottling factory, producing 80,000 bottles a month. In the end, it could supply half of that, due to the weakness of local purchasing power. 9 years after production started, everything came to a stop. But the staff, still there, have been waiting patiently for a new owner. For 21 years.
The factory was Marshal Mobutu Sese Seko's initiative. He was the main shareholder. This company gave life to this city, Badolite. He didn't do it to earn money, but so that people would have a job. We still hope that someone will revive the company. We are waiting for a person of goodwill, a billionaire who would take an interest in investing here. He would be welcome here.
Tarmacked roads, running water, electricity. The population of Badolite could once touch the Leopard of Zaire's dreams of grandeur. Those who benefited from the apparent prosperity of his rule have struggled to move on.
Marshal Mobutu isn't just anyone. He deserves a mausoleum. He deserves a monument.
Originally buried in this chapel, the bodies of Mobutu's family members were moved to this cemetery at the time of the looting. 2 of his sons are buried here, as well as his first wife, Marie Antoinette. The remains of her husband are still in Morocco. Papa Marechal, as the Congolese call him, today inspires a young generation of artists who were only children when the Democratic Republic of Congo was known as Zaire.
Il s'appelait Mobutu et pendant quelques 32 ans, il a régné en roi. Coiffé d'une toque en peau de léopard, il corrigeait sa vue par des vers.
C'est à ça que ça sert la mémoire collective.
We have a duty to remember, to learn from the past, in order to better understand the present. Mobutu's charisma, his posture, his presence, all that made us very proud. But it vanished over time. Mobutu was still there, but his dignity was dying out.
Mobutu était encore là que déjà cette dignité partait.
The bustling Congolese capital also got a makeover under Mobutu. Deemed too colonial, Belgian Leopoldville became Kinshasa, a showcase of the new Zaire, known as Kinlabel. The dictator's landmarks reflected his ambition. The imposing palace of the people, the seat of parliament, and a 210-meter-high tower, visible from anywhere in the city. Kambai Boachia, a historian and Mobutu's former education minister, has come here for the first time since the 1990s.
It's impressive, almost out of proportions. Mobutu had a spirit for greatness. He's a mystical man, and by sanctifying this tower, we sanctify Zaire at the same time. He's Zaire.
On the top floor, a fancy restaurant was supposed to offer views over the capital, but it was never completed. Here, the former dictator is omnipresent, his world-famous hat appearing in every photo. Political and religious leaders once flocked from all over the world to meet the leopard, and Mobutu knew only too well how to charm them.